I think it's real important. But when you look at the skill sets, I'm just going to outline 3 of them. I'm going to go into depth on 1. I'm going to touch 2 a little bit. I don't have the time today to go into 3, but it talks, we'll talk a little bit about just what the whole scope of that is. Number 1, it's an incubation mindset. Number 2, it's a presentation and delivery. And number 3, it becomes data mining. Those are the 3 new skill sets that we've got to be able to acquire. And I'll go into detail on the first and the second here, with the time that we have allotted for today. So look, before we do that, we've got to really be able to address the mortgage sales cycle. And this also applies to the realtors out there. We can just call it the sales cycle for that point, is to be able to look at that. And I think everybody's starting out there looking for potential clients. And I'll just relate this to the mortgage business. These are referring partners that typically will wind up referring us business. And those come from realtors. You've got other business sources, which are builders, financial planners, CPAs. You've got a sphere of influence, which is your personal address book. And then you've got your past clients. I did a recent program in Cancun a little over a year ago, and I made the people bring their personal address book, because I think that sometimes we overlook the fact that these are people that know us, that trust us, and I think we can probably do a better job at getting folks out of that address book to do business with us, whether in the real estate business or the mortgage business. And then all these connect, and what happens is these folks wind up sending us business, and they come down the line here, and what happens is we now have got an opportunity to work for those folks. And one of 3 things happen. I say potential clients because these really aren't clients yet. And one of 3 things happen with that. They become a no-sale. They become a closed loan for the mortgage business, or just dollars in the real estate business. Or they go into what we call the incubation queue. When you start to see where these people go, and I'm going to show you before and after pictures of what I believe has happened in the before market and the after market. And during Refi Mania, for your realtors that are on the phone, Purchase Mania, I think there was only about 10% of the people that came through that funnel at the top here to winding up in a no-sale position. I think that there's about 70% of those people would come in and immediately go to a closed loan. That becomes a refinance because they were seeking a 7.5, and we got them to 6.5. Or if it was a real estate agent, that wound up, I can't believe my house has been on the market for 4 hours. I did a presentation out in Phoenix, and that market was so hot at one point in time, no pun intended there, but the market was so hot at one point in time, I started the seminar at 9 and finished at 12, and I said, your houses are probably going up by $4,000 in value just by today, with what's happening. And then you've got an incubation queue, which is just kind of the undecided zone. The people out here in this area here, really can't make a decision what they should do. Should they move up? Should they refinance? And they're kind of stuck over here in this incubation queue. After Refinance Mania, and today, I believe 20% of those people are no sale. Now, I often get people, if we could hear your voice, you'd say, wait, Tom, that number's too low. I'll take you to the method of my madness with that. I think only 10% of those folks are coming right through the door today, and I think about 70% of the people are over here in this incubation queue, meaning that they're having a hard time making a decision. I'll take you through why I think that's happening, through that particular why I think there's a big bulging queue over here today. And, the reason why I only put 20% over here in the mortgage business, it could be that people's credit scores aren't high enough to meet today's standards. Well, I don't believe that's a no sale. That's just a temporary person who's not going to be wind up buying today. They're sitting over here in this incubation queue, and we've got to be able to work those folks here a little bit. I also believe that there are people today that, potentially their house can't sell. Well, this too shall pass, so those people would be over here. So about 20% of those people. There are some things that the subprime arena has gone today, but the real subprime, meaning the deep down inside the subprime world, there are some people that went subprime just because we didn't know how to manufacture the need to read tax returns and things of that nature. So that's what I believe is happening today. And as you stop to think about, what's going on, I think that in reality what's really happening here is that we've got to be able to address this. These people are on the sidelines. I'll tell you why they're on the sidelines, and I'll tell you what we need to be able to do to get them off the sidelines. Doesn't matter which business that you're in. So let's just talk about incubation here. I call this a detour because it's just something that they'll ultimately get there. And the way I best describe this is what I call conception to birth, and I just use mammals in this example, and I'll show you the disparity from, you know, the shortest term to the longest term of what I see. And the hamster from conception to birth is only 16 days. The rabbit's 31, the dog is 61, the pig is 114, a human baby is 266 days, a whale is 360 days, and an elephant is 624 days. Now, you know, what's happening is that, you know, we're not just obligated to be able to say, you know, during refi mania, which was happening here, and purchase mania for your realtors that are on the phone. I think you're looking at a situation there. We had 16 days with start to finish in a transaction. And now what's happening, when I ask people what's happening today, they said, Tom, it's probably more like an elephant today at 624 days. Now, I caution you on this because not every borrower fits into a class here, or every potential client fits into this class. Some have still a 16-day incubation period. Others have 624-day incubation period. But we have to be able to have the mindset, and I'll talk about that in the foreclosure environment, you know, as we see this. But the difficulty that we have today is we don't know which one of these mammals is our customer, so we've got to be able to ready for them to be able to, you know, conceive 31 days or 624 days out there. And I call this in the customer gestation period, it's contact to contract, meaning that during refi mania, what was the number of days? It was probably, you know, less than 30 during that period of time. And today, what's the number of days? We probably haven't seen some of those people come out of the incubator yet. And the question often people ask me, and they say, well, Tom, why is that? Why are they stalled out for that? And if we were interactive, I'd ask the question, but, you know, challenge yourself a little bit to be able to ask the question, why do you think people are on the sidelines today? And it's interesting, if you go out there and ask them, I think they still have jaywalking today, which is Jay Leno just going outside the studio and asking questions. But in Jay Leno's case, it's just jaywalking. So why are you on the sidelines? And here's what I found out. I think the increase was caused by people who are concerned about the economy. I think it's a huge part of mindset, meaning that the mindset that people have today is somewhat down towards the negative side, and I'll take you through why I believe that is as well. And then we have the media. I think the media is the major cause of people being on the sidelines today. So when we look at this and we combat the media, what they use is they use statistics, you know, to their benefit. And what happens is they put a headline out there that says foreclosures rise by 127%. And the consumer just looks at that headline and says, woe is me, I can't believe this is happening. And then we look into the facts and we get deeper into this. I can tell you that when you start presenting facts to people, it kind of takes the misnomer out of this and looks at this and really says, well, wait a minute here, what's going on here? So in 2007, foreclosures, I took this from one particular community. In 2007, foreclosures were 0.74%, less than 1% is what they were in 2007. And in 2008, with the rise, they're now at 1.68%. And you look at these and you say, wow, 1.68%. Why shouldn't, well, wouldn't the media say, why not 98.32% of all foreclosures were not in foreclosure today? I think I saw it was either Good Morning America or somebody this morning, or it was some statistic that was out there that basically said 1 in 418 loans are in foreclosure. Well, that means 417 of them are not. And why doesn't the media talk about the positive approach to that? And the sheer reason for that is that it doesn't sell any newspapers. The media is out there to sell newspapers and get you to watch their program. So this is something we've really got to be conscious of today, you know, as we go forward.